in the richest square kilometer on Earth. That building houses more corporate wealth than the GDP of Portugal. 3 streets over, there are more millionaires per capita than Monaco. But you've never heard of this place. This is Zug, Switzerland, and it's rewriting the rules of global capitalism. Why discovered here will change how you see money, taxes, and the future of wealth forever. Look at this place. It's Switzerland on steroids. Picture perfect, ridiculously clean. The kind of place where you'd expect Julie Andrews to come dancing over that hill singing about her favorite things. But notice something weird? It's 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. The playground is empty. But look up there. Every corporate tower is blazing with lights. Because Zug isn't a city anymore. It's a machine. And that machine has one purpose: manufacturing wealth. Here's the number that changed everything: 11.9%. That's Zug's corporate tax rate. Compare that to California's 29%, or the UK's 25%, or Germany's 30%. Now, you might be thinking, okay, a few percentage points, big deal. But when you're moving hundreds of millions of dollars, that difference isn't just big. It's the difference between generational wealth and giving half your life's work to a government. And then there's this. Crypto Valley. That's what they call this place. Ethereum was born here. The Cardano Foundation, headquartered here. The Bitcoin Suisse building is 3 blocks that way. 17% of Switzerland's entire blockchain industry is crammed into this one tiny city. Think about that. Switzerland is already the global capital of discrete money. Zug is where that money comes to disappear completely. But the crypto kids? They're actually the new money. The real power here is older, darker, and way more profitable. See that building? That's Glencore, one of the largest commodity trading companies on the planet. They move oil, coal, copper, grain, you name it. This building over here? Trafigura, another behemoth. And down the street, Nord Stream. Yeah, that Nord Stream. The Russian gas pipeline that became one of the most controversial infrastructure projects in European history. What do they all have in common? They're all headquartered right here, in a city with 30,000 residents. According to a 2023 Financial Times investigation, for $0.5 trillion, with AT, in commodities flow through Zug every single year. That's more than the entire GDP of Germany. But here's what blew my mind. I pulled public records from the Zug commercial registry. You can do this yourself. It's all online. And I found over 38,000 registered companies in this city. Do the math. That's more companies than people. Most of these aren't real companies. They're legal fictions. Mailboxes with billion-dollar balance sheets. And it's all perfectly legal. The magic happens through something called the holding company privilege. Article 14.2 of the Swiss Federal Tax Code. If you structure your company the right way, you can route profits through Zug and pay almost nothing. Here's how it works in practice. Let's say you run a mining company in Africa. Your copper comes out of the ground in Zambia. But you don't sell it from Zambia, you sell it from a Zug-based trading subsidiary. The profits get booked here. Taxed here, at 11.9%. Zambia, which desperately needs that tax revenue. They get pennies. You get rich. Zug gets its cut. Everyone's happy. Well, almost everyone. This is Marcus. He's 35. 4 years ago, he was grinding away in Palo Alto, building a crypto trading platform. He was making great money by any normal standard, but California taxes were killing him. I was paying 52% combined federal and state tax. More than half of everything I earned. And for what? I wasn't using government services. I was bootstrapping my company. Every dollar mattered. So I started looking at options. His option? Zug. He moved his entire company here in 2021. This view? Lake Zug, the Alps in the distance, medieval churches below. This is his office now. Marcus. First year here, I saved $8.2 million in taxes compared to staying in California. $8.2 million that I reinvested into hiring developers, improving our platform, scaling the business. That money created 23 jobs. California would have just, built another highway that takes 10 years and goes nowhere. And here's the thing. Marcus isn't some evil billionaire. He's not hiding money. He filed everything correctly. He follows every rule. He even pays Swiss Social Security. So why did talking to him make me so uncomfortable? Maybe because while I was standing in his multi-million-dollar apartment, I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd seen that morning. This is where actual Swiss people live. Or, more accurately, where they used to live. Meet Heidi. She's 62, a primary school teacher, third-generation Zug resident. Her grandfather was a dairy farmer here. She grew up swimming in that same lake Marcus looks at from his penthouse. In 2018, my rent went from 1,800 francs to 3,200 francs in 1 year. 1 year. My salary as a teacher didn't change. I had to move to Bar, then to Cham. Now I'm in Lucerne, Canton. I commute 45 minutes each way to teach in the city where I was born. Heidi. My son is an engineer. Good job, good salary. He will never be able to afford an apartment in Zug. The average apartment now costs 1.2 million francs. My grandchildren will grow up thinking of Zug as the place Oma talks about, like a fairy tale. But it's not a fairy tale. We were pushed out. The data backs her up. Since 2010, Zug's housing prices have increased by 340%. The Swiss-born population in the city has decreased by 12%, while the foreign-born population has increased by 89%. And it's not just housing. Traditional businesses are closing. This bakery, family-run for 87 years, closed last year. Couldn't afford the rent. It's a cryptocurrency wealth management firm now. The old Zug is being erased. Wealth doesn't just concentrate here. It displaces. But the housing crisis? That's just a symptom. Let me show you the disease. In 2017, the Paradise Papers leaked. Millions of documents exposing how the world's wealthy hide money. And Zug was all over it. Glencore, that company I showed you earlier, they were caught using Zug-based subsidiaries to avoid paying $2.3 billion in taxes across Africa and South America. Billion. With AB. Nord Stream AG, the pipeline company, registered here. After Russia invaded Ukraine, investigators found that Russian oligarchs have been funneling money through Zug-based holding companies for years. The Swiss government froze some accounts, but by then, billions had already moved. I requested public documents from the Canton of Zug Finance Department. Took 3 weeks to get them. And what I found was stunning. Of the 38,000 registered companies here, fewer than 7,000 have actual physical offices with staff. The rest? Brass plates. Virtual offices. 3 employees managing billion-dollar operations. There's one building. I won't say exactly where, but it's in the financial district that has 847 companies registered to the same address. Same mailbox. Same receptionist. That's when I met Anna. She used to work for a corporate services provider here. She helped rich people set up these structures. She doesn't anymore. Anna, I thought I was helping entrepreneurs. Startups. Innovation. That's how they sell it. But then you see the same pattern over and over. Russian name. Middle Eastern name. African politician's name. The company does nothing real. It just owns other companies. And the money flows through. We filed the paperwork. We didn't ask questions. What made you stop? Anna, I processed documents for a holding company that I later learned was connected to a sanctioned Russian oligarch. It was legal at the time, but I realized I was part of a system that helps powerful people avoid accountability. That money should have paid for schools, hospitals, roads in countries that desperately need it. Instead, it's sitting in Zug, doing nothing, just accumulating. But I'd be lying if I told you it's all bad. Because it's not. And that's what makes this so complicated. This is Dr. Stefan Weber. He's been a tax advisor in Zug for 20 years, and he has a very different take. Dr. Weber, people love to demonize tax optimization, but let's talk about what Zug has actually created. 15,000 jobs that didn't exist 20 years ago. We have the highest concentration of blockchain engineers in Europe. We're funding cutting-edge research. Our public services are world-class. Free public transport. Incredible schools, zero crime. Other countries complain we're stealing their tax base. No, we're showing them how inefficient they are. High taxes don't create innovation. They create bureaucracy. Switzerland figured this out centuries ago. And you know what? He's not wrong. The Ethereum Foundation is here. The Cardano Foundation. The Web3 Foundation. Real innovation is happening. The city works. The trains run on time. The streets are spotless. Crime is virtually non-existent. So maybe the question isn't whether Zug is bad. Maybe the question is, bad for whom? Here's what keeps me up at night. Zug isn't unique anymore. It's a model, and it's being copied. Singapore did it. Dubai is doing it on steroids. Even parts of the United States, Delaware, Nevada, South Dakota, they're becoming domestic tax havens. In 2024, the OECD tried to fight back with a global minimum corporate tax of 15%. It was supposed to end the race to the bottom. Switzerland initially agreed, but then lobbying happened. Carve-outs happened, and Zug's advisors are already finding workarounds. According to the Tax Justice Network, tax havens cost the global economy $427 billion per year in lost tax revenue. That's not an abstract number. That's hospitals not built, teachers not hired, infrastructure crumbling. And here's the paradox. Every single person I talk to here, Marcus, Stefan, even Anna, they're all following the law. They're not criminals. They're optimizers. They found the loopholes, and they use them. But when everyone optimizes individually, we get a system that fails collectively. It's a prisoner's dilemma on a global scale. I've been in Zug for 5 days now, and I'll be honest with you. I came here expecting to find villains. I want to make a video about greedy billionaires and corrupt systems. Simple, clean, but that's not what I found. I found people making rational decisions within the rules they were given. Marcus moved here because California's tax system punished success. Can I really blame him for that? Heidi got priced out her home. That's a tragedy, but it's not Marcus's fault. He didn't create the system. And Stefan's right. Innovation does happen here. Real value is being created. But Anna's also right. Somewhere, there's a school that didn't get built, a hospital understaffed, a road full of potholes, because that money is here instead. The truth is, Zug is a mirror. It reflects a question we all have to answer. What do we owe each other? Is society a contract where we agree to pool resources for the common good? Or is it every person for themselves? Optimize your own life, and may the best competitor win? Zug chose option B, and it's winning, which means more places will copy it, which means the social contract phrase a little more. Which means what? I honestly don't know, but I know this isn't sustainable. A system where wealth can disappear at the click of a button while normal people get squeezed harder every year, that system eventually breaks. Okay, so here's what I need from you. And I want you to be brutally honest, because this comment section is going to reveal something important. Imagine this. You've been working your entire life building a company. You bootstrapped it. You took the risk. And now it's worth $50 million. You have two options. Option A, stay home. Pay your taxes. You take home $25 million. Option B, move to Zug. Legally restructure. You take home $40 million. That's a $15 million difference. That's not pocket change. That's generational wealth. That's your grandchildren's college funds. That's never worrying about money again. But here's the twist. That $15 million you saved, that could have funded 300 teachers' salaries for an entire year, or 50 hospital beds, or repaired 100 miles of roads. So be honest. Do you move? I'm not going to judge your answer. I genuinely want to know, because I'm not sure what I'd do. And here's the harder question. Should you even have to make that choice? Should individual optimization be allowed when it breaks collective systems? Drop your answer below. I'm reading every single comment. Until then, think about that question. Really think about it, because how we answer it determines what kind of world we're building. I'll see you in my next video. What would you do?